Welcome to this presentation with me, Neil Da Costa. I'm a Kaplan tax tutor. I teach ACCA, ACA, and CTA, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about why you should work in tax. So some of you might have a plan of building a tax career, and I'm here to give you a few insights as to what this will entail. So would you like to specialize in tax? Well, we'll start by talking about the attributes that tax specialists should have. You should have attention to detail, and you should like being challenged. Okay, so if you're someone who has attention to detail and you like being challenged, then a tax career is great for you. And would you like to future-proof your career by becoming a technical tax specialist? So in the future, it's predicted that there'll be a demand for people with specialist knowledge. So if you'd like to do this, then perhaps a tax career will be great for you. And you like building relationships with clients and helping them. So as a tax specialist, you have to communicate. You have to communicate with your clients effectively, and you have to communicate with HMRC. So if you have good communication skills, you like building relationships, then a tax career will be great for you. I want to tell you a little bit about my story. Well, originally I planned on becoming a doctor, okay? So I was going to be out there helping people in hospitals, but felt that finance was more exciting. And while studying for my professional exams, I worked as an auditor, and I didn't enjoy that, okay? So I found that quite repetitive and rather mind-numbing. But the best thing I enjoyed about being out on an audit was staying at a decent hotel and having these big 3-course dinners, okay? But while I enjoyed accounts preparation, I was fascinated with the tax assignments, such as sales of businesses, things I worked for on, such as inheritance tax on death estates and complex group structures. So I had this vision in my mind of, after watching Tom Cruise in the firm, and I had visions of traveling to these exotic tax havens in private jets, dishing out valuable advice. Unfortunately, none of it actually happened to me. Okay, but I can say that pursuing my interest in tax has helped me visit many of those destinations out there. Angkor Wat, for example, in Cambodia, or St. Mark's Square in Venice, New York, and so on. But I never got to live the life of private jets, I'm afraid. Okay. So why should you bother to focus on tax? Well, you're future-proofing your career in tax, as tax will always be relevant. With the increased use of artificial intelligence, it's envisaged that processing transactions will be automated in the future. But specialist knowledge will always be in demand. And secondly, there's an abundance of opportunities in the tax field, and it's an ever-expanding sector. The UK is a major financial centre, and the multicultural population do require advice in relation to lots of different areas. Okay, so these are all reasons why a tax career will be worthwhile for you. Now, the other reason is because tax is fun. So here we've got the famous toilet roll case, and this is a case called CR versus Rutledge. CR stands for Commissioners of Inland Revenue, and what happened here is, on a business trip to Germany many years ago, the taxpayer bought 1 million rolls of toilet paper, which he then subsequently sold in a single transaction at a profit. Now, this case went to court, and when it went to court, the judge concluded that obviously with 1 million rolls of toilet paper, the taxpayer could not have bought them for his personal use. So obviously this was before the pandemic, and no one was stockpiling toilet rolls. So in addition, the toilet roll was not an investment. Okay, so back in 1929, which is when this case was, you could not flog toilet rolls on eBay. So therefore, by default, it was treated as an adventure while trading. And as a result, this factor, the reason why you buy an asset, this went on to become one of the famous badges of trade, which helped distinguish trading income and capital gains to this very day. Another fun case we had in tax was about Jaffa cakes, and obviously Jaffa cakes are made by McVitie's. And what McVitie's argued is that their Jaffa cakes were a cake. Okay, now by arguing they were a cake, they don't have to charge VAT on the Jaffa cakes. Okay, so with cakes are zero rated for VAT purposes. Now in the case of Jaffa cakes are made with aerated eggs, flour and sugar, just like a sponge cake. In addition, because of the soft texture of Jaffa cakes, this is in sharp contrast to that of a biscuit, which could be snapped. So with a Jaffa cake, it can't be snapped. It's very soft in texture, similar to a cake. So despite the chocolate coating and being in the biscuit aisle, to the taxman's disappointment, McVitie's won their case. So as a result, all of you Jaffa cake lovers out there can enjoy your treats without paying 20% VAT on your Jaffa cakes. So Jaffa cakes were treated as being zero rated for VAT purposes. Where do these tax specialists come from then? So I've interviewed over 35 tax students for this presentation, and when I asked them where they came from, I was stunned by the replies I received. One lady had a heart set on becoming a police officer, while another one wanted to be a groundswoman in a large estate because she studied horticulture at university. One of my students was had a maths degree, and he said that he after he graduated, he was faced with the prospect of teaching in a high school, and what he did was he chose tax as an escape route. You see, so he wouldn't have to teach in a high school. Another individual went into research. Okay, but he was a chemist and he was doing chemical research and so on. But then he was drawn to the tax career because of the much higher salary, because this enabled him to buy his own flat. So once again, a whole variety of different people. And it was interesting, just one of my students came from a family whose father was a tax advisor, and this lady decided to follow into her father's footsteps from a relatively young age. So my message to you is, whatever your background, whether you're an actress, a lawyer, a ski instructor, you can all do well in tax. Okay, so in my class I've had a ski instructor as well. Okay, and an actress, and all these people have decided to now focus on a tax career. So tax specialists come from all different disciplines. What are the different tax roles available then? Well, there are lots of different areas to choose from, such as, so some of my students work in the sector called private individuals, where they deal with high net worth individuals, business tax, corporation tax or VAT. But remember, within the big taxes, there are also niche areas such as research and development, non-domiciled individuals, trusts, or cross-border taxes. So there are lots and lots of different tax roles out there. What are some of the gripes about working in tax? So it's all, I don't want you to think that, every day will be glamorous and great fun. Well, months like December and January are very busy due to year ends and tax return deadlines. So everyone who works in tax, December and January are very busy months. And one of the other problems that tax specialists face is that clients can be very unhelpful in terms of providing information, and this can be very, very frustrating for you. So you constantly contact the client and you're asking for information, but the client is not being very helpful. So these are some of the gripes that my students have told me about, which they face working in tax. But what are some of the best things about a tax career? Well, one of the best things I can say is every client is different. so you never get bored. In addition, because tax changes, you don't fall into a rut. There's lots and lots of studies out there that now people who have been in a career for 10 or 15 years are getting very bored, and what they feel, it's very repetitive. They feel like they're in a rut. It's just part of the rat race. Well, I can tell you that being in tax, you never feel like that, because tax is always new and dynamic. Things change and you're constantly challenged. And the other thing about tax, it offers a very good work-life balance. So, if family time is important to you, this could provide that. So tax specialists love the fact that after leaving work, they can enjoy time with their family. So, there'll be no one calling you up at 9 o'clock at night when you're spending time with your children, for example, if you work in tax. Okay, so once you leave work, you leave all your responsibilities behind until you come back the next day. I've been a tax tutor for many years, so I produce lots and lots of useful resources that all of you can use. So I write articles on LinkedIn. Some of the articles I recommend you look at if you're contemplating a career in tax is Panama Papers Reveal Hidden Billions. So Panama Papers was a famous data leak, and it revealed that there are millions of offshore companies, in fact hundreds of millions of offshore companies, and many of these offshore companies have billions and billions of dollars stashed away in them. Okay, what Panama Papers revealed, it revealed the identity of some of these ultra wealthy individuals. And another article that you might find fascinating is how the Duke of Westminster was able to save $4 billion in inheritance tax through the use of trusts. So if you're interested in tax, I think you'll enjoy reading these articles. For those of you who perhaps have forgotten some of your tax knowledge, or perhaps you're planning on studying ACC Advanced Tax or ACA BPT, I have written Advanced Tax Condensed, which has everything you need on tax in 150 full color pages. It's got multiple images, Neil's top tips. I've made it exciting to read. Okay, it's very colorful, and it's a very useful book to help recall all the key bits that you need to understand. At the lower level, I've also written a paper called Taxation Condensed. Okay, so Taxation Condensed. So that's the equivalent of ACCA Taxation or ACA Tax Compliance. And these books are available from my website, neildacosta.co.uk. And I've also introduced PayPal Pay in 3, which allows you to spread the payment for the books over 3 months. So what are the next steps? Well, follow Kaplan on social media. Check out our YouTube channel videos. We do lots and lots of useful free resources on everything from financial accounting, management accounting, tax, personal development. There's lots and lots of resources available on our YouTube channel. Sign up to our free digital magazine, okay, called Kaplan Insights. We also do an amazing Kaplan podcast. The host of it is Stuart Bedley Smith, who's actually one of our resident intellectual geniuses. Okay, so I definitely recommend Stuart to you, and by using all these resources you get free study support, and it will help in your professional development. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. So my name is Neil Da Costa. You can just search for me, Neil Da Costa Kaplan, to access all the free resources like the articles. I also do constant tax updates. I do productivity tips. I do efficiency tips, memory techniques, lots of things to help you. Okay, and we'd like to wish you the very best in your future career. Okay, so at Kaplan, we've been the world's leading professional trainer for more than 70 years. We've trained generations of accountants in the UK, and we hope we can help you with your career aspirations. So what are the next steps for you then? Well, the first thing we recommend is visit our Kaplan study pages. We offer different study methods. Choose the one that's absolutely right for you. Okay, so some of you may want classroom courses, you might want online courses, you might want distance learning courses. We offer everything, so just choose the path that's right for you. Attend our free Kaplan seminars. So I do a lot of webinars, for example. So I'm going to be doing something on the Finance Act update, for example, Finance Act 21 update. I'll be doing that later on, and these are all free. Okay, so please attend our free Kaplan seminars. Connect with me, Neil Da Costa, on LinkedIn, and then you have access to all my material. And if you need to speak to someone, just speak to you can speak on a one-to-one basis with our Kaplan customer services. They're very, very helpful. They'll give you all the information you need. And finally, guys, we'd like to wish you every success in the future. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope I can meet you in class or on one of my webinars.